Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Welcome back to the Spiritual Awakening podcast with Shaz. Today I want to talk to you about that point in your healing journey where you have to really become honest with yourself, not cruel, dismissive, just honest, and realize that the thing that hurt you the most, that trauma, that tragedy, that problem in your past, doesn't need to be a story that you need to continue carrying around for the rest of your life. At the moment, there's a big chance it's still influencing the way you see yourself, the people who you trust, the choices that you make in life, and the belief that you're allowed to have in yourself. This is what I call the dragon. My coach calls it black bags. All of these are negative thoughts that we no longer need to carry. They're stories that are no longer true. So if you've slayed the dragon, let's keep it dead. Why do we keep rehashing situations over and over and over again? Because every time we do that, we feed it by giving it attention. Replaying that story experiences the same pain as it's happening to you right now. And that's re-traumatizing all over again. And too many people don't even realize the difference between what happened in their past and what is happening right now in their present, and certainly not what can happen in their future. Because every time you rehash that story, you remind yourself and you go back and think about it, remember it, review it, you're actually convincing your unconscious mind, your soul, your body, that this is who you are right now. And you feed it every time you allow that wound to rise up and affect a current decision, interfere or impact in your current relationships, in your work, in your friendships, in your family, and especially with lovers. We bring old stories, old baggage into new relationships, and we expect different outcomes. But if you never release the past and understand how you grew through it, how it actually made you who you are today, and that's the most important part of this journey, no matter what you've been through, it's the only way you can get to be who you are. And who you are is the most important person in this whole life experience. Who you are right now, who you are dreaming about becoming, who you want to be. You don't need to think about what happened as this tragedy. You can honor it, but don't let it live inside you. Don't nurture and feed that garden. Don't water it daily. They're definitely not the same thing as reviewing something from perspective of hindsight, right? We all go, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't do it back then. That's the whole point of life, because you never know what you don't know until you do know it. And the only way you do know it is to experience it. And unfortunately, some of the biggest things that we have to experience create deep pain. This is not about pretending it never happened, that it didn't matter, bypassing it, skipping over it. It's not about denying its existence. It's about coming to peace with it anyway. It's not about the airy-fairy factor of forgiveness, of being love and light and letting it go and just dismissing their bad behaviors and making excuses for all the things that happened to you. It's really about the forgiveness of self and setting yourself free from allowing someone in your past to have rent space in your head who, quite frankly, probably doesn't even think about you at all. Yes, it's a sad conclusion, but it's quite often the fact. Back in our past, when we're children or when we're young, someone said or did something to us, and we turn that into a regular thought. And that thought created feelings. And from those feelings, we exhibited behaviors, and we now have results or beliefs that what they criticized, judged, or labeled us with is our truth. Whereas the only person that can really decide who you are is you. I don't care what label society puts on you. I don't care what boxes people try and put you in. You can only be restrained, restricted, or tied down if you allow it. Are you ready to step outside the box and claim the sovereignty of who you really are? Are you willing to rise up and recognize your greatness for overcoming these tragedies? Because I'm telling you, you overcome them, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here anymore. This is the point so many people don't realize. You won the fight. Act like the champion that you are. Yes, many fighters come out battered, bruised, black eyes, bleeding noses, all sorts of bruises and trauma. But they're still victorious. You may feel like you even lost it. But the fact that you got out of the situation, the fact that you walked away, that you're still here standing, powerful and strong, that's still a victory. And this is where the true healing needs to come along. It's not about avoiding what happened. It's about reconciling what happened. Having perfect recognition of both sides of the story and realizing throughout it all there has been growth, a gain, or some form of ascension. That's what life's all about, right? It's a level up. So why, when you level up, would you go and pick up the baggage or go and grab the dragon's dead body and carry it around like a burden? That just means that you're creating the original event to happen over and over and over again. It becomes a nightmare. Becomes something on repeat. And then all that happens is every time you think about it, every time you process it, every time you beat yourself up about it, you are energizing the oneness of the universe to magnetize the exact same thing towards you again. This is the biggest part that most people don't realize, is they complain about their situation. I don't want this. I don't like this. I'm never going to do that again. But they never focus on what they want instead. They just focus on the denial of what they don't want. And energy doesn't recognize don't. It doesn't recognize the discord that you have with what you're thinking about. It just recognizes the thought. And especially when we attach those thoughts to feelings, those emotions, those disruptions, that vibration that sits within us, whether that's anger, hatred, guilt, shame, blame, any of those negative emotions that cause us to cry, be sad, bully ourselves. The more you think about things like that, the more you magnetize and attract people that are exactly the same. You get into a cycle and a rhythm because your soul is asking you to step up, rise up, and learn a lesson. And if it thinks you don't have it, it goes, oh, well, I must have to bring it again. But when you do recognize and reconcile what you went through, and you realize the growth, you realize the power of what you now know, and you embrace that wholly within yourself, that is when you start to attract and magnetize yourself just so much better. That is where true manifestation comes into play, and you find yourself with a tribe of people who are much more aligned with who you are, that see you for everything that you are, and that are going the same direction that you're heading. Haven't you ever noticed when you're feeling down and out and you complain about life and everything's so hard and oh my God, I'm in so much pain and this happened, that you're surrounded by 50 other people that are saying and doing the same thing? Is that where you really want to be? Is that why you defeated the dragon and won the fight? To stay in it? I've never met anyone who won a lesson, who overcame it, that wants to go back and repeat it. They just complain that it happens again. So why wouldn't you break the cycle? Why wouldn't you shift through it and become who you were meant to be? Everything in life is there to teach us a lesson. And unfortunately, in humanity, we don't learn through ease. We learn through hardship, through tragedy, through trauma, through heartbreak, through pain. But we all survive it. Trust me, we all do. And survivability is so much more than just existing through it and replaying it in the head. If you can't clear it out by yourself, maybe you need to go see a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or get a coach. But there are many ways that you can do it for yourself. You can go and journal and review the situation. Ask yourself deep, hard questions as to how did I get where I am? What made it happen? What was the actual scenario in the first place? The biggest factor in all of this is when we have trauma as children, we make things so much bigger than they really are. And small hurts become big pain because we just replay it over and over again, and it becomes a trigger and a magnetization, and then someone else does it again. So when you're thinking about things over and over, and this works in any phase of life, if you keep thinking about the same thing, whether that's good or bad, the universe does everything in its power to bring it to you. So many people complain that they're like poor, struggling, they hate their job, or that they don't have anything in life, that they're unlucky. And the universe goes and seeks evidence of the fact. That's a choice that you have. If you change your vibration, change the way you think, and you empower yourself with better thoughts, that you're lucky, everything's always working out for you, you're surrounded by beautiful people, you're doing great work, you love the job that you're in, that is the frequency that you'll attract. If your mindset every day going to work is, I hate my job, the people are horrible, the people are going to be horrible. You're going to magnetize people in the workplace that are disgusting. Then you can't complain that they exist because you did co-create it. And so many of us like to blame everybody else, that the universe is out of our control, when in actual fact, we co-create it by every thought, every feeling, every behavior that creates the results that we have. And if you don't like it the way it is, you have to change them in that order. You have to start with your thoughts first. You can't get out of a bad situation by sitting there affirming the situation that you're in. I hate my life. I don't like my boyfriend. My husband's an arsehole. My wife's so-and-so. It's never going to make it better. I don't want to go to work today. My children drive me crazy. Words create spells. And if you say that stuff constantly, and that's what you live by, the evidence is going to show up right in front of your face. Some people call it coincidence. It's actually synchronicity, but it's the universe giving you what you want. Even while you're in denial of saying what you want. Because if you think about it, it doesn't recognize it as any other way. So if you were to shift that story for everything that you've been through and look at it as the victor who come out the other side with skills, with grace, with an aspect of self that they never had before, and you use that aspect to become someone or something, wouldn't you change the story from this is what happened to me in a victim mentality to this is who I am, this is how I became it, and look at the greatness that I went through to get there? It's hard work to climb a mountain, right? It takes a lot of effort. There's a lot of downfalls. It takes plenty of time. It takes training. It takes dedication. And literally overcoming our traumas is like climbing a mountain or a staircase. And we have to do it one step at a time. But you never get to the top and turn around and complain that you struggled at the bottom. You're victorious. You've reached the peak. You only look up and you celebrate the achievement for what it is. Why don't we do this with our life, with our relationships, with our experiences? They shaped you into who you are. And trust me, there's no other way you can get here without walking that pathway. We were doing Shine with Shaz last night, and one of the girls was talking about her relationship with her partner. And part of that, even though the relationship fell apart, she ended up with a child. Now, if that's the only pathway that you can get to have a child, doesn't it make it worth it? Regardless of the ending, isn't the outcome of the union worth the result? And ask any parent, 95% are going to say absolutely yes, it is. Unfortunately, there are going to be some that can't say that. But it's not the norm. Every interaction, every relationship, every job, every person that you meet, everything you go through, you gained something along the way, whether it's big or small. And we have to learn some way. And in this human form, the only way we truly do learn is through overcoming challenges, however they come across our path. So you need to acknowledge what the challenge is. The biggest challenge most people have to overcome in life is loss of a loved one. It's some sort of grief. The biggest problem around that is there are processes that you go through grief. And all the bystanders want to tell you how long it takes, how to experience it, what to do with it. But your grief is your own. And as horrible as this sounds, and I don't mean any disrespect in any way, shape, or form, but you already survived the grief because you're still here and you're still meant to live your life. And as someone who miscarried twins and understand the devastation of loss through many deaths in my life, knowing each day that I wake up, that is a blessing in itself. That is the strength. And what happens when we grieve is we lose a part of our identity as the person we are in the relationship with the person that's now gone. And through the process of grief, you're going to have sadness, emptiness, hollowness. And one of the feelings that you need to go through and experience is anger. But the side effect of anger is when we feel angry towards a loved one for leaving us or not showing up, it creates bitterness and it creates guilt. Now, guilt is, for me, the worst emotion that we can carry. It has the biggest burden and it's the most toxic of the emotions because it creates disease within the body faster than the other emotions. And it becomes a manipulative tool for other people. Most of the time that we feel guilt, it's actually not about anything that we've done. It's about what we believe the other person thinks of us or their projected shame or blame upon us. And too many people don't recognize that, deal with that, or chunk down into the information about it to get to the real thoughts and the real feelings that lie beneath the surface. They just label it guilt. And I was having another session yesterday with a dear friend of mine, and he was telling me that he feels overwhelmed and guilty about something. But when we did chunk down to the real story going on underneath, guilt wasn't even the emotion whatsoever. It's a mislabeled emotion. Part of it was anger. A lot of it was frustration. Most of it was about being misunderstood. True guilt comes from making a mistake and not apologizing for it and believing that you did something wrong. But we feel guilty because we apparently hurt other people when they do something wrong to us. It's not the way it works. That's hurt, that's sadness, that's abandonment, all sorts of different things. But it's not actually what you're trying to work through. And this is why I found the power of journaling so insightful, because we have all these surface thoughts and these surface conclusions and these murmured opinions and criticisms and judgments of other people running in our head, when we don't really drill down far enough to get to the core message, the core incident, or the review of the actual event that caused us to think or feel this way. But whatever that event was, that is where we created the thought, usually based on someone else's opinion who doesn't matter in the first place, that creates the problem in our life. And those thoughts can be changed. Someone telling you you can't do something when you're a child is actually lying to you. And can't is a misnomer anyway. Can't actually means you can not do something. You can, you're just not doing. And they're two different things. You can do it, you're choosing not to. You can do many things. Most people say they can't do something simply because they fear failure. I can't do it because I've never done it before. I can't do it, I'll fall down. Think about it when you rode a bike. How many times did you say, I can't do it, and yet you got on it, someone held you up and you got stable and off you went? And once you learn to ride a bike, you never forget. We tell ourselves we can't so many times when it's not the actual truth. We can not do something. It's the not doing that's the problem. That's the choice. You can let go of these feelings. You're not doing it. There's a big difference. You can review the past without taking it on board, but you're not doing it because you're reliving it. Because you're actually reaffirming the story of what happened rather than what you became through what happened. Because trust me, you're already out the other side of the tunnel. You slayed the dragon. Let's keep it dead. This is never about letting anyone off the hook. This is about taking your life back and owning it. It's control. It's a completely different thing. And it helps you move forward by understanding what happened to you because you come through it out the other side. Most people, when they talk about a near-death experience, they talk about going through the tunnel and going to the other side. But the fact that they come out the other side of the other side to come back to Earth shows that they overcome it anyway. The only true thing in this life that you cannot overcome is death. The soul does, but the body doesn't. The human in it doesn't. So as long as you're not dead, you have the opportunity to change everything around you. And it first starts with your thoughts. So what are you going to think today? What is the most empowering thought that you can tell yourself right now? How amazing and beautiful, courageous, gorgeous, wonderful. What are all the brilliant things about you? The deepest, darkest lesson that you went through. Who are you today because of that? Not despite it, because of it. Most of us make massive decisions around our traumatic events. And the best part is most of them are all about not doing that to other people. And if the only way you can learn how not to hurt someone else is to be being hurt in the same way, isn't it worth it? We all sit there and go, no, we don't want to do that, and I wish I never learned it that way. But it's not actually true. Most of our decisions in our life, we don't know what we don't want until we experience it. And it's from that we choose to become better. One of the saddest things in life is that some of the greatest, heroic stories in this world happen through great tragedy. Advocacy, standing up and overcoming things, creating new laws, fighting for other people. None of it happens by witnessing someone else go through it. It's only the people that experience them themselves that find the courage to go out and make that change. Don't let that be the legacy that you need to leave behind, to experience great tragedy before you make change. Quite frankly, many tragedies are more than enough. But the main reminders that you need to understand is most of the problems that you've been through are already over. And if unfortunately you are still living in an environment that is causing you harm, please seek help. Please choose yourself. And yes, sometimes we do have to walk away from them. And it's a heartache and it's a heartbreak. And I know it intimately because I had to walk away from my mother. Walking away from family is one of the toughest choices that we ever make, simply because of the decisions and the programming that we get from society that we're tied together by blood. It's not actually true. Our parents are the only way that we can get to this planet, through the birth process. And the contracts that we make as a soul about interacting with them sometimes are for a lifetime, but many times they're not actually the way. They're here to complete cycles. And as long as you complete those cycles, learn the lessons, and grow in a way that makes you a better person, that's all that matters. So stop holding on to cords and connections to people that are detrimental to the well-being of your soul. It's not what the human journey is all about. Look at it in the animal kingdom, right? Animals give birth to animals and they go off, and very rarely do they live in families. There are some of them that do, but most of them are sent out into the wild to fend for themselves and never see their parents again. And they get by. But first, you've got to take care of yourself along that journey. There is no one else that's going to pick you up, dust you off, or pat you on the back about this for self. The only person that can work through it, that can take care of you, is you. You are your own rescue. Lisa Nichols said that to me many years ago, and it changed my whole world. You are the one that has to decide who you are, how you show up. Do not allow anyone else to have impact on you. The biggest problem that happens when we hold on to memories that are detrimental to self is the body still reacts from it. We get into survival mode. Our body gets into shock. We're full of cortisol. We become reactive. Certain tones of voice, delayed replies, expressions, sounds can set us off. And it can trigger a memory that takes you back into a panic attack. And all of this is not about how it came about. It's your response to it that matters. And this is why healing is so important. And it is more than just positive thinking about it. It's creating true understanding and acceptance of what happened. And then giving your body evidence of that safety, that security, and experiences to show that you are well in this world. Many people can't hold themselves in a room where uncomfortable conversations are going on due to childhood trauma. Sometimes we have to force ourselves to do it, to show ourselves that it's safe. Moving through and healing from the patterns sometimes can be more uncomfortable than you feel the pattern itself is, because you've created a construct and a story within your mind to tell you that it's safe that way. But trust me, the somatics of the body and the physical well-being don't feel that way. And you are worth good health, happiness, love, and joy. So when your body recognizes danger, walk away, trust it, pay attention to it. Sometimes in healing situations, we don't have to stay where it's unhealthy for us. Many times walking away is the only thing we can do. Listen to your body, pay attention to it, recognize the signals, and especially between old dangers and current ones. Many empaths, they say, are born through trauma and being on alert for rooms so that you become aware of energy around you. So when that empathy rises up and you feel totally uncomfortable, pay attention to it. You are not defenseless. You're not young anymore. You're not 2 years old without an opinion or understanding. You're not a child that can't fight back. You are not someone without a voice anymore. You have power. You have decision. You make choices. Do them for yourself. Use them wisely. You deserve it so much more than you give yourself credit for. So stop feeding your dragon through behavior by nursing and nurturing and bringing back to life that old negative pattern. If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, cut them out of your life and see how different you are. End it. Stop checking it. Stop going back to patterns and people that make you feel worthless. Stop waiting for apologies that will never come. If someone's done you wrong and you're expecting them to apologize and make you feel better, good luck with that. Mostly, they're not going to apologize in the first place, or when they do, it's still not going to make a difference. The person you need to heal is yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You need to understand that you didn't know how to deal with it back then, so you had to go through a lesson to learn it. And once you've learned it, trust me, you're never going to let anyone do it to you again. You will recognize it may take a bit less time. Sometimes it still takes more time, depending on how fast you learn those lessons. But stop giving rent space in your head to other people. Don't take on their thoughts, criticisms, judgments as your own beliefs. Choose who you are. Find your identity. Own your responsibility in what happened in the co-creation of it. Our soul comes here to experience a gamut of emotions, the whole spectrum. Okay? Look in society at all those people that you think have everything. They're born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Everything's great. They have great families. Everything works out for them. Everything's wonderful. And go and see how they sabotage it. They create addictions. They get into bad relationships. They do wrong things. They end up in jail. So what is life really teaching us? We don't grow and progress through ease. There is no one that's ever had the easy life and stayed easy forever. They all go through hurdles, trials, and tribulations. It's how we grow. And trust me, you want to grow, because when you just stop growing and you stop learning things, when we begin to die. We no longer want to make pain our identity. You are strong, you're dependable, you're courageous, you're the fixer, you're all those wonderful things. But you don't need to magnetize and attract yourself to many more situations where that is the only outcome. Don't lose your voice because you're afraid of conflict. Don't become a people pleaser because you're searching for love. These identities are not real or stupid. They're just intelligent responses to the patterns that you were taught and the programs that were run throughout your childhood. They helped you survive. You can now thrive by choosing who you are, how you act. And we do that by changing our thoughts, our feelings, through our behaviors to get the results that we want. Do things that make you happy. Feel good about it. Take action and become everything that you desire. That's all life's all about. But you can't become everything you desire carrying around a dragon carcass. You slayed it already. Leave it dead. Leave the past where it belongs behind you. Build a future moving forward, free like the bird, fly. Rise up, elevate, become all you know you can be. Many times we carry around the baggage and the carcass because we think we're protecting ourselves because we're so used to it, we normalize it. But we're not actually doing that. We're just creating more evidence of what is. And we don't deserve that. You can have better. Ask for better. Dream about better. Speak it into existence. The biggest thing is many people think they want better, but they don't write it down. They don't really visualize it. They don't say it out loud. And then they complain that the universe only gives them shit because the words out of their mouth, I only get shit. Stop saying things like, I'm so unlucky. This is so hard for me. The world I'm poor. I don't have anything. If you reiterate it and you speak it into existence, you make it your reality. Change the language, change the outcome. Words are like spells. Speak magic into the air. Your words literally become your reality. What do you want? Ask yourself every single day. Not what do I not want? What don't I want? We all know what we don't want. Most of us. Sometimes you've got to find out the hard way. But what do you actually want? What is the world you're creating? What is your focus on? Where are you heading? How do you feel about that? Because when you focus, have a clear picture of what you're doing, great certainty behind it, and know how it's going to make you feel, and you live in that feeling, have gratitude and acceptance for where you are, it will become your reality so much faster. It will get you off the merry-go-round, stop the cycles going round and round, and stop you having to prove yourself. You don't need to convince yourself that you won. You are already the victor. The fact you are still here is the victory in itself. Own it. Be the winner that you are. It's not selfish to celebrate your success. It is not ego to stand up and say, I am all of these powerful things. Oh my God, in this country, sometimes we can't even own our greatness. Of course you can. Nobody else's opinion matters but your own. The only person you have to satisfy is the person you look at in the mirror. And trust me, they deserve the world. Don't ever give your power away to someone else. Never let them limit you or put you in a box. Own your own identity. Know who you are. You are magnificent. You are God's creation here on earth. You are a miracle. If you understand the birth process and what it takes for you to actually get here, it is a miracle at work. You have so much power inside you. Visualize the world you want. Talk about it. Feel it. Encompass it. Embody it. Dance with it. Play with it. Get into frequency with it and allow it to come. Too many of us use our past as punishment, and we don't deserve that. No matter what you've been through, even if it was your fault, even if you were the one that made the mistake, forgive yourself. Set yourself free, because you don't know what you don't know until you do know it. And the only bad thing about life is if you keep doing it over and over again and expect something different as an outcome. That's not how it works. And if you don't like how you're acting and you don't like the world you live in, change it. That is the choice. And when you do that, trust me, the world around you will change. Things will look uplifting. You will find your inner self. You will be surrounded by people that feel the same as you, that flow the same as you, and that encompass the world in the exact same way. Because you deserve that. And the biggest forgiveness lesson is not about the other person. It is not justifying what they've done or letting them off the hook. It's about you. The reason we need to forgive others, because it's like you carrying a knife wound and you re-stabbing yourself with that knife wound. Half the time they don't think about you. They don't care about you. It's not even in their radar. Many of the things that we hold as torture that other people have done to us, when you go and ask them about it, they'll go, oh, I didn't say that. I didn't do that, because they have no idea. Because it's the way you received it. And they may never understand what that did to us or how those words made us doubt ourselves or how it impacted our psychology. And sometimes it's not up to them about it. But it never has to stay the same. You can change it through affirmation, through song, through EFT, through any way that you know how. But please rise up. Become who you need to be. Accept the greatness within. Remind yourself who you are. Own your identity. Own the magical being that you are. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Have grace. Be kind. You deserve it. We have so much compassion for people in the world and little compassion for self. Be kind to yourself Say loving things. Go stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself how proud you are, how powerful, how courageous, how much you love who you are. Acknowledge where you are right now. And when you look at those old events, don't share all the details. Just review it from hindsight 2020 perspective and go, this is what happened back then. And when it happened, I felt all of these emotions. And right now, about it, I feel all of these different emotions. And it's the gap in between that's the lesson, that's the growth. And when you embody and understand that and realize that that has made you a better person today than you were the day that happened, that's the most important factor of life. You can't learn something until you do. Many of us didn't know our ABCs when we grew up. We had to learn it. And when you want to change your thinking, it has to be done by repetition over and over and over again. Why do you think they repeat life lessons to us? They want to make sure we get it right the first time. So when you start getting your affirmations right and you believe them, you no longer have to repeat them. Think about it. When you learn your ABCs, how many times did you sing the song? And then you never had to do it again because you know where the letters of the alphabet sit. You deserve the world. You are a miracle. This world is a better place because you're in it. I know you've gone through hardship. I know we've suffered trauma. But you slayed that dragon. Leave it dead. Go and ask yourself, what has already ended in my life that I still give too much energy? The full moon's coming up any day now. Use that opportunity to write letters about it. Go outside and burn them and set yourself free. Is there any person in your mind that is existing there without paying rent? Kick them out. What story are you telling yourself that no longer reflects who you really are or who you're becoming? What part of your identity was built during survival but no longer belongs with you right now? Don't attack yourself. Don't create despair and bully yourself and put yourself down, right? This is about acknowledging the growth, celebrating the win, owning the victory, being the conqueror. You don't need to keep fighting the dragon. It's already dead. Just stop feeding it. Stop dragging around that carcass. Really show up for yourself. You matter the most. If you can't do any of this for yourself, Shine with Shaz, my group coaching program, is exactly where we go through all the methods and all the tools that you need to do this. You deserve to be free from the burdens that you carry. Trust me, when you put the world down and take it off your shoulders, you feel like $1 million. You deserve lightness, happiness, joy. Surrender it, let it go. Throw those stories that no longer serve you in the trash, burn them down. And create a life from truth rather than fear. You become better decision makers. You know who you are. You show up in the world differently. You become who you're meant to be. That is the important part. Who are you? Be honest with yourself, compassionate. You know you had to learn to survive through that way. We're not surviving anymore. It's time to thrive. Your past may explain you, but it doesn't own you. You are who you are because of that. And because of that, you're wonderful. Love you, accept you, deserve you. Don't ever change. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.